All right. I caught you live, okay, and I know everybody that clicked on here, okay. Y'all probably like, why he ain't asking about this? Wait, first of all, y'all know I'm not messing like that,
Let's
America,
get to
okay.
it.
I don't start mess, okay. I finish, okay. So I'm not
Well,
going there. But okay, I know on one of your recent lives, okay, there was a little back and forth. But before there was a back and forth, you were trying to make a huge point
yeah,
that I think everybody, not just in the Jack State community, but I think in the HBCU community, people that support HBCUs, hell, black people in general, really.
right,
Okay.
right.
And your point was about the importance of us controlling our narrative.
Correct.
Okay. Can you just kind of expound on
Yeah.
that and explain like where you were going with that, why you think it's so important in the midst of all the lies and fake narratives that were put
Yep.
out here when Prime left, and you had his supporters with no followers on the internet coming for
Right.
Jackson State University. You had big superstars like Shannon Sharp coming for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, can you explain how important it is for us to control our content, control our narrative, and push back against all this stuff?
Yeah, man. So what I was trying to say was this: is that HBCUs are treated like black people. We get
Yes.
blanketed, we get profiled, and I said it's the one place where the sins or the errors of one individual sits at the front door of everyone that loves and represent that university. Don't make no difference if you did it or not. It's like living in a neighborhood. If you got some kids that look like me and you that decided to do some dumb stuff, and then everybody in the community tend to look at us, even though we're upstanding, we pay our taxes, we keep our yard trim because of what we look like, though, because of the category that we fall under. People tend to judge us out the gate. So when it comes to HBCUs, I was extremely disappointed with the departure of Deion Sanders and how it went down, because I was mad about it because I didn't want it to end that way. I love Deion Sanders. I love that he was our coach. I felt like when he walked away, I wanted to see him celebrated, and I wanted to see Jackson State celebrated. I felt like we had an opportunity to keep something going. I didn't want to see this mud slinging, scorched the earth type thing, because one of the things I said when I first started going live, the reason the lives came about was we was in such a state of chaos. We were so emotional as a fan base and dealing with such just a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness. It was a array of emotions. There was no media coming out because at this point in time, the pregame show is no longer having access to Jackson State, so they're not covering, and people not really understanding what happened over there. So I just started going live every day, just talking, giving people an outlet, because I've been to therapy, bro. I know what it's like to go through trauma, and we've been through a lot to go from 7, 8 years of famine to 2 solid, strong years of plenty, and now the thing that was there, did we screw this up? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And people went back, bro, and grabbed an old interview that was done at the university. Shout out to the Earn Your Leisure brothers. I actually dissected that interview and did some things with it. I wound up deleting all that content off my page because I was learning YouTube at the time. But I remember when Coach Prime gave that scenario, it was a hypothetical. He didn't specify because, for one, there was never a time that we had 60,000 people attending a game under his tenure. That never happened. We got up to 58,000 for one. Number two, there's never a time that there had been this many people, and then it shows 28,000. That's not a. So from his standpoint, he can say, okay, you sold this many tickets, but this many people showed up. Whatever. Nobody gave a damn about it, bro. It wasn't until he left. And I'll just do. I know who did this, just from being in this, I guess you could say, industry or whatnot. there were some things that happened, bro, that people was giving information and was allowed that information to leak so that it could cover up some of the backlash that was coming behind Coach Prime actually exiting. Then he, you know, at every chance he gets, he's on the microphone at the Celebration Bowl. He's saying, "Hey, when I leave, you're gonna see everything that I did do, and you're gonna know what I did because I'm gone now, and it ain't gonna continue, right?" Which, for one, that gave me my purpose as to why I've been going so hard to try to help put parameters in place with the collective body of alums to make sure we don't take a dip. But when it comes to controlling your narrative, you're seeing a man that knows the truth, that has one of the largest followings in the world. All of us collectively did not have enough media power to stave off the onslaught of just verbal assaults. All day on Twitter, social media, platform after platform after platform, and bro, we got multiple black eyes behind that,
right?
And we were not in a position to fight back. We got alums that want somebody to say something. You know what I mean? Our previous presidents, apparently, you know, he's dealing with what he's dealing with. So we took this quiet approach, and then this quiet approach didn't help because we just kept getting kicked. We kept getting kicked, and it's like, well, damn, man, like, okay, all right, this is where we are, right? So the question I asked is like, what do we have? So I wanted to see Jackson State establish something that it could tell its own story. Shout out to Austin and his team again, because with the creation of a Jackson State football YouTube channel, and a new team, they can focus solely on providing content because people wanted content to see what's going on with Jackson State. However, whenever it's school or university owned content, there's certain things they ain't going to do. They're not going to do what we do because they can't do that at the university level. You're not going to have some student on there saying, man, cussing and getting irate. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see the coach let it. It's going to be buttoned up. It's going to be about the program that it's covering. It's not gonna be any context to it. But you follow the blueprint Dion had. It was actually 4 entities at play. You had Deion Sanders, the person, all of his social media. You had his son, who took over the Go JSU Tigers social media account, Jackson State. He has his own platform, Well Off Media, and he gives inside access to the pregame show. So Deion Sanders is operating, not to mention Reach the People, Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, Shiloh Sanders. Everybody has got platforms, but let's stick with the Big Four. The Big Four is giving everybody eyes into the room. The Big Four is what's controlling the narrative. Or you can say the Big Five when you include Barstool's after the season documentary, or you include Amazon Prime after the season documentary. Deion Sanders leave, the only thing left is Go JSU Tigers, but nobody's manning it. So my thought process was like, and I mentioned this to Coach TC, I'm like, Coach has the infrastructure in place to really do something very similar to what he did. But he can do it in a manner in which it's Jackson State centric. And I say this not to take shot at the other brothers. Right. They come from Tiger Talk, but you ain't got to worry about Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club changing its logo colors. That's not going to happen because it's tied to the university. It make no difference who leaves, who stays, who goes. Tiger Talk, though, it's the 1400 Club part that connects the two. And here's how. The 1400 Club is an official affinity group of alumni base, just like the Tiger Funds, just like Blue Bengals. It's up and coming, you know what I mean? And it is a part of the university, part of the development fund, all that good stuff. So we have a podcast. Now, granted, Corey C, shout out to Corey C. He's the host. He's the head of it. I'm a part of it. So is Zoe. So is Mike B, Mo. We got a lot of members that comes on in particular segments or whatever, can fill in for us or whatever. My plea to Tiger Nation was, the world considers us as a liquid money, man. We can do whatever the heck we want to do. And I proved it by being on live streams. We're doing initiatives in less than an hour, man. Thousands of dollars being raised. What that tells me is that we have the ability to do what the hell we want to do if we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was, Coach TC, use Tiger Talk the same way Dion used the pregame show. Let me tell you how. Pregame show, something happened. Neely was out there on the front line. Neely would talk to Tolly Carr with HBCU Game Day. Mm-hmm. Neely would talk to whomever. Great orator, right? And so when people wanted to know what was really going on, they went to the pregame show. Mm-hmm. Hell, I went to the pregame show. Y'all went to the pregame show. We was watching that because we knew that they knew. And sometimes the pregame show would give you access to things that nobody else would give you. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Now we ain't gonna get stupid on Tiger Talk because you introduced this. But guess what though? There's a whole nother element that done come about as a result of this. Now you got a KC 1400 media, which I ain't tied to the university. Mm-hmm. I don't claim to be no part of it. Mm-hmm. But we would like access. You can use us because we are funneling money through community efforts back into the program. Mm-hmm. We're not asking for anything. We just need access in the building and tell us what you want us to show, what you don't want to show. Now, the reason being is because that pays for itself. You know what's going to happen with that? That money's going to turn right around, going to make sure the guys that help shoot this stuff, to cover it, to help film it, is going to make sure they straight so they can be there. Mm-hmm. And the money gonna go right back into the program. You see what I'm saying? Right. So what we can do now is you got a three-headed monster. You don't need a four because you're not Deion Sanders. He's TC Taylor. He don't need that. TC Taylor ain't no social media guy. Mm-hmm. He's go at JSU Tigers. You got Tiger Talk, but I ain't really pushing mine. But this is what I kind of pitched to him, and this is why I'm saying that. Now, if a joker come and say, well, Jackson State over there selling fried chicken on the weekend and illegally. We can come out there and say, what the hell are you talking about?
Push back. Yeah.
We over here. Because now what starts to happen is people gonna start treading a little lightly because now you got some foot soldiers in place. Because if you open your mouth up and speak on us, we coming. And I don't mean that to take no shot over there with what Coach Prime be saying. I'm telling you straight up. Media is everything. And so all I'm saying is with this, I was summoning, if you got behind any platform that was covering Jackson State, get behind us, man. Make sure we where we need to be. Make sure we got what we need to have. We need sponsorships. We need all that good stuff. We're going to have to get some an investment on equipment, an investment on all that stuff, man. So with that being said, now we don't have any excuse to not be where we need to be. Mm-hmm. And you can be confident in knowing that we have invested in our very own thing. You still got Rob J covered. He's a national treasure. He's going to forever do that. But what you don't have is you're going to have different aspects of it. And then Jackson State has learned from the era of its past. Mm-hmm. And now we can build some infrastructure that will sustain itself for the time that and beyond. That's why you have an Austin Robinson who creates a team who can build an infrastructure that sustains itself. If so, an Austin Robinson exits the door, it keeps rolling. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that was what I was trying to convey, that we have the ability now to do everything that we want to do. We can have whatever the heck we want, and we don't have to sit here and go run to platform. We got your platform. You got She Loves D. You got Doc Holliday. You got me and Zoe. You got Tiger Talk. You got a lot of Jackson State alums out here that's giving you enough to hold you. You don't have to run over here and listen to these people who don't care nothing about us. Mm-hmm. Because when you don't have emotional investment in it, you know what slips? The damn details, the facts. Mm-hmm. So people start getting raggedy with their reporting. And now people seeing on Twitter, they like, man, these Jackson State people are crazy. I said it on the show, and I'm gonna shut up. Because of the misinformation, we do not have, what was the word I used? We cannot afford a little white lie.
No, we can't.
You better get your facts straight. And if your facts not straight, we're gonna check that. Whether we say it in the comment section, whether we make a video on it, hey, such and such said this. That's bull junk. That is not what happened. That's not the amount. That's not what went down. Because what we did is we invested in someone that we thought when they exit the door, that person was gonna really tell the truth, and he didn't. And he let the lies grow. Yeah. So now people are using Jackson State as this punching bag, and we're not gonna stand for it no more.
That's absolutely right. It's something I said before in a reel or a short I made one time. A lie that goes unchecked becomes the truth to people. That's
a fact, brother. And unfortunately, in the days that we live in right now in this social media era, it's not about what can be proven. It's about what people think. Public opinion is now it has replaced the court of law.
And I think some people would accuse people like me and you of not being able to get over it, or whatever the case may be, or it should be just something that we brush off. Like if somebody is speaking ill on the university that we support, or on our brands individually. But what people have to understand is the university is an entity.
Yep.
And it's a Black-run entity. So when you allow people to besmirch a Black-run entity, what you're doing is allowing them to sully the reputation of Black people.
That's
you're
fact.
buying into this concept that Black people can't run something.
That's fact.
We already got enough narratives like that. Take the garbage crisis that we just had.
Facts.
Okay? Take the water crisis. Take any of these type of things where they point to something that's Black run and say, we told y'all that Black folks can't run it. So when it's bullshit, like all the stuff with Prime was bullshit. We got enough real stuff. You mentioned the stuff with the president. We got enough real stuff to deal with. So when y'all make up stuff, we got to push back. You're obligated as a responsible person who loves someone or something to push back against that.
Right. No, you spot on, man. It's the same thing that goes with how you deal with your personal reputation.
Exactly.
I don't think people need to. People got to understand that we fight this way. We wish we didn't have to fight so much. We wish things would be on an even scale, but it's not, and it's a sickening to me when people want to act. When people want to act like it's just, business as usual and we should just get over. People still want you to get over racial discrimination. I'll just get over. Just look past it. I can go real far down the road with that. I've had people that I was
folks that say that, then they'll say 9/11, never forget.
It's like so with that, all we're really saying is that, you know what, we don't have to dwell on the past, but what we can do is we can put some infrastructure in place so that we can have some checks and balances and be able to fight back with. And then two, if that stuff is in place, we can just summon those people who want to, bring up false rhetoric and say, hey, if you really want to know the facts, go over here, because these over here speak the facts. And that's what that is. So that's all I was really trying to convey. I was really just trying to ask the family to just, we haven't really, we had a meet. We're having a meeting coming up, and we're going to do some planning. I think it's important that Tiger Talk be wherever we're supposed to be.
Okay.
I know stuff coming up, this camp stuff with it, wherever the coach is going to be, wherever something happening, we got to be there, and that's going to really solidify and validate the brand itself, and that requires an investment of time, but it also requires an investment of money. So that was what I was trying to say.